In the early hours of January 16, 2014, a quiet residential neighborhood in West Valley City, Utah, became the scene of one of the most disturbing domestic tragedies in recent memory. By the time police arrived, 5 members of the same family were dead, including 2 young children. The man responsible, Joshua Allan Boren, a 34-year-old American police officer, had taken his own life after killing his British-born wife, her mother, and their 2 children. The case shocked both the United States and the United Kingdom, raising painful questions about domestic violence, mental health, and warning signs that went unnoticed until it was too late. Joshua Boren, age 34 at the time of his death, was a former police officer in the United States. Public records confirm that he had previously served in law enforcement, though reports indicate he was no longer actively serving at the time of the killings. Authorities did not publicly release detailed employment or disciplinary records, citing privacy restrictions. Boren was legally allowed to possess firearms, and investigators later confirmed that the weapon used in the killings was lawfully owned. Kelly Boren, 32, was British by birth and had moved to the United States after meeting Joshua. According to UK and US media reports, Kelly had family ties in Britain and maintained contact with relatives there. Friends and relatives later described her as a devoted mother, deeply focused on her children's well-being. Some reports indicated that she had been experiencing marital difficulties, though no official court filings for divorce or restraining orders were publicly confirmed at the time of the incident. Marie King, 55, Kelly's mother, had traveled from the United Kingdom to Utah to visit her daughter and grandchildren. Her presence in the home at the time of the killings was confirmed by police, though authorities did not specify the length or purpose of her visit beyond a family stay. Her death drew particular attention in British media, as she was one of 2 UK nationals killed in the incident. The couple's children, Joshua Boren Jr., age 7, and Kelly Boren, age 5, were both found dead inside the home. Police later confirmed that each child had been killed by a single gunshot wound to the head. Their deaths became the most heartbreaking aspect of the case, prompting widespread grief and outrage. Police were called to the family's home on January 16, 2014, after concerns were raised when family members could not make contact. The exact identity of the caller has not been publicly disclosed. When officers entered the residence, they discovered the horrific scene, very hard to explain: bodies of 5 individuals in their pool of blood. Joshua Boren had a difficult upbringing. He was abused physically and sexually as a child by one of his mother's lovers and was undergoing therapy, and that trauma had negative effects on him while growing up. Kelly confided in her friend that Joshua was uncontrollably angry sometimes, and it terrifies her in the house. But they didn't change her love for Josh. She was a strong woman, she prayed, and hoped that her husband Joshua would change one day. But little did she know that it was just a wishful thinking, and his anger will someday consume everyone in the family. Kelly was a good mother, also an amazing wife, who took care of family and ensured everyone are well taken care of. She never missed any of the children's school events. Joshua, on the other hand, continues to be a monster in disguise. Kelly Boren was drugged and raped by Joshua, her husband, 4 times in 2 years. Joshua, the very man that's supposed to protect life and properties, the vulnerable people, and of course his family. But rather he turns out to be the predator his family need to be protected from. According to official police statements, all victims had been shot. Most had suffered a single gunshot wound to the head. There were no signs of forced entry. There was no evidence of a struggle involving outsiders. The scene was quickly classified as a domestic homicide, followed by suicide. Based on forensic evidence and police reconstruction, investigators concluded that Marie King, the mother-in-law, was shot first. Kelly Boren, Joshua's wife, was killed next. The 2 children were then shot. Joshua Boren died by self-inflicted gunshot wound. Police did not publicly specify the exact order in which the children were killed, nor the precise timing between each shooting. No suicide note was found, and authorities stated that no clear motive could be definitively established. Investigators confirmed that the firearm used in the killings was legally owned by Joshua Boren. The exact model of the weapon was not publicly disclosed. Ballistics testing confirmed that the same firearm was used in all 5 deaths. In the aftermath, friends and relatives told reporters that the marriage had been experiencing significant strain. Some accounts suggested that Kelly had confided in others about feeling fearful or overwhelmed, though police emphasized that no formal complaints had been filed. Authorities stated that there were no active restraining orders, no documented domestic violence calls, and no ongoing criminal investigations involving the couple at the time of the incident. Following the tragedy, attention turned to Joshua Boren's mental state. Police acknowledged that they had no prior record of mental health intervention involving him. Because Boren died at the scene, no psychiatric evaluation was ever conducted, and investigators stated they could not conclusively determine whether he was suffering from untreated mental illness at the time of the killings. The killings gained international attention because both Kelly Boren and her mother Marie King were British citizens. The UK Foreign Office confirmed that it was in contact with US authorities and provided consular assistance to surviving family members. British media widely covered the case, emphasizing the loss of 2 British nationals and the violent nature of the crime. After completing the investigation, West Valley City Police formally ruled the case a murder-suicide. Their final report concluded, Joshua Boren acted alone. There was no evidence of third-party involvement. The deaths were the result of a domestic violence incident. The case was closed due to the death of the suspect. Police publicly stated that the incident appeared to be isolated and that there was no threat to the wider community. The tragedy deeply affected the local community. Neighbors described the family as quiet and private, with no outward signs of violence. Vigils were held in memory of the victims, particularly the children. Community members placed flowers, candles, and handwritten notes near the home. Child advocacy organizations later cited the case as an example of how familial homicide often occurs without obvious external warning signs. Family annihilation cases, where one parent kills an entire family before committing suicide, are statistically rare but devastating. Criminologists note that such cases often involve a combination of relationship breakdown, control or possessiveness, financial or emotional stress, access to firearms. However, experts stress that no single factor explains these crimes, and each case is unique. In the Boren case, the absence of a note or prior police involvement left many questions unanswered. More than a decade later, the deaths of Kelly Boren, Marie King, Joshua Jr., and Haley remain a painful reminder of the hidden dangers of domestic violence and unchecked crisis. Because the perpetrator died at the scene, no trial ever took place, and many questions, particularly regarding motive, remain unanswered. What is certain is that 4 innocent lives were lost, including 2 children whose futures were stolen without warning. This account is based on official West Valley City Police statements, 2014, US and UK media coverage from January 2014, publicly available court and police records, statements from family and community members reported by verified news outlets. Family members and friends were grieving seriously about the death of their loved ones, but the questions still remain unanswered about what could possibly trigger a man to end the lives of his innocent family members, including his innocent children, in such horrific circumstances. Thank you for watching this far. Kindly subscribe to my channel, and please let me know your thought about this story. Do you think Joshua acted on impulse? Or he was mentally unstable? Or probably a narcissistic bully, sexually assaulting his own wife and claim if he can't have his family, no one else should? See you on my next video.